with all these false allegations and stuff like that. You know, you talking about them paying women, but you paying women for false allegations. You know, so it just really, like, it's crazy. You talking about these people, but you turn around, look what you're doing. Now, mind you, you know, you said that at one point, you know, you and T.I. had a situation where he had you at gunpoint and whatever and whatnot. I remember you conversating with me about that. But my thing is, that was a past, and that happened so, you know, so long ago. And then y'all just had another situation, you know, you upset and you feeling bitter and all these mixed emotions that you're having. There's no way to get somebody back. You know, I see the revenge that you're seeking, but you really going too far with this. You really going too far. I can't see you dragging these people's lives down like this. You know, and me being a friend of you, you know, like, how would you like it if I turn around and I do this to you? Like, karma's you don't do that to nobody. Like, all I'm asking you to do, you know, right now, Sabrina, is just stop. Leave them people alone. Like, leave them people alone. Don't do that to them. They have a family. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't do this. Like, you know, you already did enough of damage. It is what it is. You can't take it back. You know, but from here on out, just leave it alone. Stop all those statements. You know, stop all these false allegations that's being made, because it's all started with you. You knew what you was doing, and you know I have receipts, and I don't want to come to that point where I'm pulling out receipts on you. You're my friend, but now it's like, you know, it's making me withdraw back from my friendship with you, because look at the type of person you are. Now, I remember you saying certain things like, you know, I didn't think that you was going to really go this far and do some shit like this. But you are really, like, you're really psycho. You really is being really crazy. Like, you really starting to seem to me like a psychopath. It seemed really crazy, Sabrina. Like, what's wrong? Call me and talk to me. You know, you could call me and talk to me about anything. You always, you know, in situations you will call me and talk to me. But it's like lately, you know, you've been avoiding me. You know, so I know a lot of times people can't stand to hear the truth. But I'm your friend. You know, so I am concerned. But this right here, Sabrina, is just like really crazy. Please, all I'm asking you is to stop. Because if you go to the point where these people start going to court and all this stuff, you know, I'm going to have to start pulling out receipts. I'm going to have to start pulling out receipts on you. Because it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Like, that's not, you don't do that. Like, this is not no way to get back at somebody. Like, it's just really crazy. And all I'm saying to you, Sabrina, you know, me being a friend, you know what I'm saying? All I'm asking you is just to put a stop to it. And I know you can't take it back, but at least you could try to do is fix it. You know, all those comments and stuff like that, you need to withdraw all of that. Because you and I know that's false. It's false. You don't take your relationship that you had with them and you mad because, you know, you wanted something, you know, more. You know, it's just like you turn around and do some shit like this. This is way overboard. This is way overboard. Like, come on. Let's just put a stop to it. I'm here. Call me. Answer.
Hey guys, wanted to thank everyone who's been following us with this Tiny and T.I. breakdown series. If you have not, please make sure you watch parts 1 through 5. In our last part, we partnered with the Plainest Jane's channel, bringing some content to her, specifically to the victim statements and what they are alleging, and the letter to the State General Attorney's Office of California. In that little partnership, you will see myself and Jane kind of go through these allegations one by one, and as of yet, of course, we are still waiting to hear from the 3 states that have been asked to investigate. There hasn't been any media release or anything like that. We have been diligently watching those state websites and watching for any updates about charges as they come again. So because of that, guys, and T.I. and Tiny have not been charged. Right now, everything is alleged, including the victim statements and anything else that kind of comes out of here, right? So we want to make sure we are careful with that. And I'm of the belief, right? This rabbit is of the belief that you need to be able to see the full picture before you come up with a conclusion, right? So just as you are watching our channel and getting these updates, keep that in mind. Everything is alleged, and come up with your own conclusions. We would hope that you would wait to get the full picture before you do. It's always better to do that. All right, guys, let's get started. So just to let you guys know, we have some documentation here. It's the court paperwork, the filing that Sabrina Peterson's attorneys did for defamation. And this was filed, just so everyone knows, that it was filed in the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, on March 1st at about 9:29 a.m. And so someone received it there, a clerk did, and so they were able to file it. Sabrina has some attorneys that are representing her from California on this suit. And so Sabrina is the plaintiff, and the defendants, the alleged defendants, are T.I., Tiny, and Shekinah Joe. So of course, these individuals right here obviously, have been named into other stuff. Well, with the exception of Shekinah. Shekinah isn't being alleged to have done any crimes that we know of with Tiny and T.I., but just a heads up on that. But let's look at the complaints for damages, okay? And again, this was filed in the Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Los Angeles. We also have a case number here. I believe that this is public record for now, although we were able to obtain these documents from deadline.com. Shout out to them as well. To this stuff, so shout out to our rabbits. Okay, let's talk about these complaint for damages. All right, so we have 7 complaints for damages. The first one is defamation libel per se. The second one is defamation trade libel. The third one is invasion of privacy, false light. All right, the fourth one is intentional interference with prospective economic advantage. The fifth one is negligent interference with economic advantage. The sixth one is intentional affliction of emotional distress. The seventh one is negligent infliction of emotional distress. Now, I thought this document was very important to talk about because, there have been things that have been said about Sabrina. Sabrina also has a history of herself having done things in her past. Now, we don't want to hold anyone's past against them. I don't think that this is what this is about necessarily, but Sabrina's credibility right now is very important, as she's also being named in the letter with Tyrone Blackburn, right? So we need my understanding, and at least how I see it, is it's very important to give some credibility to Sabrina, especially because several of the victims, the alleged victims, came to Sabrina, and there were several social media postings about these allegations. So it is very important for Sabrina to be a credible witness. Now, whether she's credible or not, that is a separate conversation. In your opinion, I am kind of curious to know what you guys believe in the comments, so please make sure you put that in there. But that is a separate issue. So the watered down version of defamation, and again, the criteria, what meets under defamation, it's going to vary from state to state. But what we have so far is, it's usually a statement that's published by someone other than the plaintiff, usually a statement that is published by someone other than the plaintiff. And those statements, when a judge sees it, has to determine whether they are defamatory. right? So there's that factor. So if the defendant, okay, posted something on Instagram about someone and it went viral, and it went viral because people were sharing it, third parties, and if you have 3.5 million, and I'm just throwing out a number of followers, right? Imagine how that's going to keep going viral and how you can't really get that back anymore. So in Sabrina's situation, the libel per se, the only thing that Sabrina in this case is going to have to establish that a statement was published, a defamatory statement was published about Sabrina, and that people were exposed to this false information that she's alleging is false. And as you will see in these documents, we will definitely see that people based on T.I., Tiny's, and Shekinah Joe's Instagram followers, as well as Sabrina's own followers, people were exposed to a lot of statements made between all of them. And in this situation, the law does assume that once these statements that are untrue are made in the public, that reoccurring damages are going to keep happening. You know, that people will continue to find these statements, because if you think about, you know, if a celebrity right now makes a post and then hurries up and decides to take it down, it's very likely that a lot of people have screenshot that information and will post it somewhere else. And so there is this element of, you know, this is going to be a recurring damaging thing for Sabrina, whatever was posted or said about her. And so then that would then help her defamation situation. Let's talk about the parties, okay? So in the first kind of number one paragraph, you're going to see a little bio about Sabrina. You're going to see a little bit about her business ventures, her financial stuff. You'll see maybe a little bit of the good stuff that she's done, right? Because as a plaintiff, you definitely want to paint yourself as a really great plaintiff. But, you know, she's done a couple of things with Essence Festival. They discuss a little bit about her business on the Glam U, and how she started that, and the coaching and development of women in entrepreneurship. And also just to give more context on her background, that she has mentored and helped developed women and their business strategies. So she is also, in addition to her work, she holds space for one of the only Black female hemp farm owners in the United States. So she's putting herself on the map for that. Pretty High CBD brand. That is the name of her cannabis industry. And she's also, especially on paragraph number 5, they're really giving the issue of her activism and how she is really taking charge of several social issues in Atlanta, Georgia, mainly focusing on violence and abuse against women. And so she continues to shift her focus, per her bio, on different areas, but really advocacy for women everywhere. After Sabrina, the defendant's surname, which is of course T.I. Clifford Harris, and it gives the introduction that he is an American rap singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. And where he predominantly rose was in the early 2000s with his album Urban Legend, which reached number 1 on the United States Billboard Hot 100. And he performs across all nations, including California. So just giving some information about the defendant. The paragraph is very brief. Then it goes to paragraph number 7, which is the defendant, Tamika Harris, professionally known as Tiny. Also says that she's an American singer, songwriter, a member of the group Escape, and that she rose in predominance early in the 1990s after releasing their debut album of Escape. So She has performed across all nations, including California, mentioning again California. And then on paragraph number 8, we have Shekinah Shekinah Jones Anderson. So professionally known as Shekinah Jones. And so giving her the title of the American reality television personality who appeared on the Tamara and Vince, Tiny and Toya, T.I. and the Family Hustle, and Tiny Family Hustle. She received a certificate from Platinum Salon, Hair Salon, and Empire Beauty School. And it is believed that, she has, based on this paragraph, that upon the information and belief, she practices all across the nation, including California. Okay? So that is your defendants. And so here we have what is being called as facts common to all causes of action. And I really liked how they kind of highlighted this because it gives us an idea of what is it that maybe is factual that everyone would agree to. I don't know if I could say the same for Tiny, T.I., and Shekinah. I mean, obviously they still have to respond to this. But one of the things that they're listing is number 10 being that Plaintiff Peterson knew T.I. Tiny for over a decade. Okay. Number 11, Plaintiff Peterson got into an altercation with T.I.'s assistant, Hannah Kang. Shortly after that, T.I. appeared and placed a gun to Plaintiff Peterson's head and says, "Bitch, I'll kill you." And then number 12, T.I.'s actions was extremely traumatizing to Plaintiff Peterson. She no longer communicates with him, but she has maintained her friendship with Tiny, who was not present at the time of T.I.'s attack. Number 13, on January 26 of 2021, in response to a carjacking that happened to her in Atlanta, Georgia, Plaintiff Peterson shared her traumatic experience with T.I. to a group of her followers. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to number 11. Hannah Kang is an assistant, and I believe, and I have not seen otherwise, I mean, they still have communication with each other. I don't know if she continues to be paid by the Grand Hustle or anything like that. I did find a post here, which if you guys can read it, that's a picture of both of them together, and it sounds like she still gives a lot of credit to T.I. and the work that she's done with him in his business. I do remember, though, sometime a while back that there was some type of an altercation between Sabrina and Hannah Kang, and I'm not really sure the details to that. I do remember seeing something to that effect or being discussed or chatted somewhere in social media, but don't quote me on that. I believe that that's something that was out there at some point. And so this is what they are listing as factual facts to the common information. So it's interesting how and what. I have a lot of questions about number 11 specifically. What year did this event happen? Because it'll give us an idea of maybe when T.I. and Sabrina really fell out, what year that was. And so then maybe Tiny's ongoing relationship with Sabrina might have had a factor into what's happening right now. I'm not really sure. Just speculating, hypothetical, allege, just thinking out loud. So the other thing to consider, and I'm thinking that Hannah Kang, if she is asked to come, to testify, would she be able to speak on this statement that was made by T.I.? Was she there? Because her name is being here. Did she see the gun situation? Would she be able to be a witness to that? And again, I'm a little bit confused by this because I don't know if that is a separate event that happened from what is being alleged with the kids being there present. This is not even talking about that. So it makes me wonder, has there been more than one event on the gun situation that we're not aware of? It does leave a little bit of a questioning in this situation. So then we have a total of 4 events that the attorneys are alleging led to the defamation of Sabrina. Okay, so the first event that is listed is Tiny posts a picture of plaintiff Peterson's son. Now, if you guys remember the posting that said something to the effect of, hold up, so you want your abuser to train your sons? He was just uncle 2 years ago. Now, when did you say my husband assaulted you? Did you change your mind or change it back? What up with you today, Pooh? I'm confused. Stop harassing my family. You strange. Everybody knows you've been special. So please get help, but leave us alone. And then there was a little emoji face with a heart kiss. That was Tiny's posting, okay, that they're considering to be definitely deliberate and negligent act because they exposed the 8-year-old boy for 6.6 million followers in Tiny's Instagram, okay? And then there was the Anderson, this is Shekinah's post, posted a defamatory video concerning plaintiff Peterson. So this is when Shekinah went on her rant, took off her mask, and was going all crazy. We've seen that a couple times. It was taken down from her page, but we've definitely seen people having it still. The T.I. and Tiny release a public statement about plaintiff Peterson is also being called defamatory. This is a statement that was released on January 29 of 2021. It was published, and so that statement alone is also being put in there as being a defamatory statement. T.I. posted an 8-minute video about Sabrina Peterson on the 29th of January, where he went into his Instagram, and he has 13.5 million followers, and posted the lengthy statement about really the bedroom. I also want you to know there's evil at play, kind of making those references towards Sabrina, and it was a very, very lengthy video, and we saw T.I. there, but that one's also being listed in this defamatory claim. And here's the interesting part. Okay, so as a result of T.I. and Tiny and Anderson's defamatory statements, plaintiff Peterson has been consistently harassed. So in this court document, it says that from January 29th to present, that Peterson has been inundated with harassing and threatening Instagram messages from Tiny and T.I.'s followers, okay? They list these messages, they even list the followers in there, so I'm hoping that none of our bunnies and rabbits that are seeing this are listed as harasser, but because they do show the followers IDs, Instagram IDs, and I mean they're pretty significant. You have people that call her a lying bitch, you a fat miserable snob, bad body build even after surgery ass jealous lady, you little money running low so you can scam, I forgot, all the way from the choke on some nuts. Yeah, so we're going to block some of these names, even though they are in court documents, and I don't think it'd be an issue for us to show that. But we are a little bit concerned about some of these statements, but also people being followed from this channel to that. So the court documents does list a couple of postings that they, meaning Sabrina and the attorneys, considered to have been harassment to her. So this, yeah, interesting. And so we have these 7 complaints. The court document continues to go through. It's 16 pages long, but it really lists 1 through 7, like the first action as to why they feel, defamation is an appropriate action or complaint, why it meets that. And then it goes 7 to negligent infliction of emotional distress, to where, what has that caused to Sabrina emotionally, and then it gives a little summary at the end of what maybe they're asking for. Right now, we don't have a date or anything as far as when they're going to go back to this or what they plan to do moving forward. We also have not heard anything about criminal charges. Like I stated earlier, we are checking up on that. We're going through media releases, at least through the 3 states. And the number of victims or alleged victims on the criminal side, it seems to be changing. It seems to be fluctuating. But based on the letter that was sent to the General Attorney's Office in California, what we saw was, whatever the number was there, that's what we have so far. I have not heard Tyrone Blackburn or anyone yet speak out on a concise or consistent number of where they land. So I would ask you that if you're hearing different, if you're hearing they've been charged or it's over or, no, it's not. No one's been charged. These are just allegations between parties. Nothing has been said or stated. I will tell you that in this defamation thing, Sabrina, her team, they're going to have to prove, they're going to have to prove a lot of this, right? Just like you would in a criminal case. So whatever that looks like, if they feel like it's enough to say that the Instagram followers were harassing, or if they can show that she lost wages, or if they can show that, she hasn't participated in any sexual acts with Tiny, which is what Shekinah was alleging. I'm not really sure. Right now, I don't think anybody really knows anything. So anybody that gives you a black and white answer, I would really ask you to think about how we have not received formal statements from the person that needs to give them, right? So heads up on that. But of course, we accept your opinions, commentary, put them on the chat, put them on the anywhere. We love to hear, we love to engage with an engageful audience, and we'd love to hear your opinion, number one, right? So make sure you watch the entire series. If you don't know who Steve Siddall is, it'll help you kind of understand that, or some of these people that have been mentioned. Watch it, let us know what you think, and good or bad feedback, we're always open to it. Rabbits out.